I have a feeling that Chinese men are about to get hit by a wave of post-divorce poverty. I don't know if you've noticed, but ever since the new year, the job market has been getting tighter and tighter. AI is advancing at an insane pace, and companies are cutting costs. Some have already laid off up to 90% of their employees. Now, some people might ask, what does this have to do with marriage? Well, everything. Can you guarantee you'll keep your job until retirement? Can you be sure AI won't replace the work you do? If you can't even secure your job, how can you expect to secure your marriage? The harsh reality is that modern marriage has become a transaction, and when a man's financial worth takes a hit, his so-called partner has no problem jumping ship. More and more men are being abandoned the moment they face hardship, left not only jobless but also stripped of their assets in divorce. Think about it. She married you because you had money and stability. You worked hard, provided for her, and gave her the lifestyle she wanted. But the moment you lose your job, suddenly, she's acting like she never knew you. She doesn't care how hard you've worked, how much you've sacrificed. All she sees is that the money isn't flowing like it used to, and she panics. Women aren't interested in building a future together. They want a finished product. They don't care about your struggles. They only care about your paycheck. And the second that paycheck is gone, so is she. That's why more and more men are experiencing the same brutal reality, getting laid off one day, served divorce papers the next. And the ones who haven't been hit yet? They're sitting there in fear, knowing that as soon as the economy turns against them, their marriage will too. And don't fool yourself into thinking she's heartbroken or conflicted about leaving. No, she's already weighing her options, figuring out how much she can take from you in the divorce, and looking for her next provider. She knows exactly what she's doing. In her mind, you're just a phase, someone to finance her lifestyle until something better comes along. The saddest part? These women have zero loyalty. It doesn't matter if you spent 10, 15, 20 years working your ass off to give her a comfortable life. The moment things get tough, she's gone, and she's taking half of everything with her. You sacrificed decades of your life. And for what? To end up right back where you started, except now you're older, poorer, and alone. So don't ask why women leave when you're at your lowest. The truth is, they were never in it for you. They were in it for what you could provide. And once that's gone, so are they.
I have 3 close friends who all got divorced after losing their jobs. It's crazy how unemployment and divorce go hand in hand these days. All 3 of them lost their jobs, and before they could even process it, their wives handed them divorce papers. At first, I thought it was just a coincidence. But after hearing all their stories, I realized the real coincidence wasn't the divorce. It was the job loss. When a man loses his job, the first person to look down on him isn't society or his friends. It's the woman who once said, "I love you." One of my buddies is 39 years old. He was a senior manager at a real estate agency. But last May, the market took a dive. He was one of the first to get laid off because of his age. He didn't want his wife to worry, so he kept pretending to go to work every day. In reality, he was out looking for a new job, drinking tea and sending out resumes. 2 months passed, and nothing came through. Eventually, he had to come clean. That night, his wife didn't say much. She even tried to comfort him, telling him to take his time and keep searching. But not long after, things started to change. Arguments became a daily routine. His unemployment became the excuse for every fight. And before he knew it, she slapped divorce papers in his face. The reason? Simple. You're useless. Guys, this is the harsh reality. Sharing the good times? Sure. But sticking together through the tough ones? Keep dreaming. You thought marriage was a safe harbor, but you realized the biggest storms come from the person you trusted the most. When a man loses his job, even breathing feels like a mistake. You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't cheat. So what? The moment you lose the ability to make money, you're worthless. Society sees it that way. Your own home sees it that way. And honestly, how different is my friend's situation from what could happen to any of us?
I came across an interesting discussion recently. In today's society, the moment a man loses his job, his wife starts thinking about divorce. To all the married and divorced men watching, isn't this the truth? The moment you hit a rough patch, the woman who once called you the love of her life suddenly becomes cold, distant, and ready to walk out the door. Why does this happen? Why is it that the second a man is down, the woman he sacrificed everything for doesn't hesitate to leave? The answer is simple. Modern women never actually loved their husbands in the first place. A lot of men assume that because they treated their wives well, handed over their salaries, and took care of everything financially, their wives would appreciate them. They think that by providing a good life, they've built a foundation of love and loyalty. But that's not how it works. The reality is, from the very beginning, she never saw you as a life partner. She saw you as an investment, a walking ATM, a financial plan. And when the money stops coming in, she cashes out. She has no loyalty, no sense of gratitude, no willingness to go through hard times with you. She was never in it for you, she was in it for the lifestyle you provided. This is how women are raised. Society spoils them, feeding them toxic ideas like a woman should never struggle, men are supposed to provide, and a woman deserves the best, and if a man can't give it to her, she should leave. These ideas destroy marriages and turn modern women into entitled parasites. They expect a man to pay for everything, the house, the car, the bills, the children's education, but what do they contribute? Nothing. And the moment that financial security is gone, they won't stay and help rebuild. They'll run. Not only that, but they'll take half of everything you worked for. They'll drag you through court, fight for child support, and make sure they walk away with as much as possible while leaving you in financial ruin. And this isn't some accident. This is how the system is designed. If you're a man in today's world, wake up. The old ways of thinking will get you destroyed. Never give a woman complete financial control. Don't hand over your salary card. Don't let her dictate the finances. Don't let her treat you like an ATM. If she's only with you for money, she's not worth marrying. Any woman who expects you to fully support her while she contributes nothing is a gold digger in disguise. If she's not willing to struggle with you, she doesn't deserve to enjoy success with you. And once you are married, take control. Be the leader in your home. Make sure she contributes, whether financially or emotionally. Stop thinking that being a good man means sacrificing everything for her comfort. Modern women want all the benefits of marriage, but none of the responsibilities. They want to be treated like princesses, pampered, and financially secure, but the moment real life hits, they're gone. This is why divorce rates are skyrocketing, birth rates are plummeting, and more men are waking up to realize that traditional marriage is a trap. Society can't be fixed overnight, but as men, we have the power to protect ourselves. Choose wisely. Take control. Stop being an ATM. And most importantly, never trust a woman who isn't willing to build with you.
The moment a man loses his job or runs out of money, his entire world crumbles. His wife walks out, his kids are taken away, and everything he built over decades disappears overnight. A wave of divorces is hitting unemployed men and those who failed in business. Chinese men are entering an era of post-divorce poverty. It used to be that when women got divorced, they'd proudly post their divorce certificates online, claiming it was because their husband cheated or was abusive. But now, men are the ones posting, not about freedom, but about suddenly finding themselves as single dads, left to raise 2 or even 3 kids alone, struggling to make ends meet. Women don't want a partner. They want a provider. Think about it. You work tirelessly for 10, 20 years, sacrificing your health, your time, and even your happiness to provide for your family. You endure stress, pressure, and exhaustion to make sure your wife and kids live comfortably. And what do you get in return? The moment you hit a rough patch, whether it's losing your job, failing in business, or even just making a little less money than before, she's out the door. Women don't want to build a life with you. They want a life provided for them. You might think marriage is about love, loyalty, and partnership, but for many women, it's just a financial arrangement. As long as you're earning, she stays. But the moment you can't give her the lifestyle she wants, she starts finding excuses to pick fights, threaten divorce, or, if she's really calculated, quietly secures a new man before she even leaves. And don't think for a second she's leaving empty-handed. No, She'll make sure to take half of everything you worked for, even if you were the one paying the bills all these years. She'll fight you for property, child custody, and anything else she can claim. Then turn around and start fresh with a new provider while you're left in ruins. Middle-aged men are waking up to a brutal reality. You spend decades building a home, a career, a future, only to be discarded like an outdated appliance when your financial status changes. Overnight, you go from a respected husband and father to a divorced, struggling, middle-aged man, wearing secondhand clothes, eating cheap meals, and living paycheck to paycheck. Your finances are wrecked. Your mental health is shattered. And your so-called life partner has already moved on, enjoying a comfortable life funded by the assets she took from you. And don't expect sympathy. Society will say, well, you should have planned better. They'll tell you to man up and start over, as if rebuilding after losing everything is as easy as flipping a switch. Meanwhile, your ex-wife? She's being praised for choosing herself and not settling for less. The harsh truth is women were never in it for you. A lot of men struggle to understand this. They ask, why wouldn't my wife stay and support me through hard times? The answer is simple. She was never in it for you. She was in it for what you could provide. When you were young, you had energy, ambition, and the ability to work hard and make money. That's what made you valuable to her. But now, you're older, you're slowing down, and maybe you're struggling financially. You're not as useful as before. And if you're no longer useful, why would she stay? A man without financial power is worthless in her eyes. Worse than a stray dog. And society backs her up. No one will blame her for leaving you. No one will say she's wrong for taking half of everything and moving on to someone else. But if you were the one who wanted out, you'd be painted as the villain. You thought you were getting a loving, devoted wife. In reality, you married a parasite. She latched onto you when you were at your peak, draining your time, money, and resources for years. And now that you're struggling, she's moving on to a new host. That's how parasites survive. They don't build, they take. And don't think this is just bad luck or a one-time thing. This is a pattern. This is how modern marriage works. Thanks to social media, feminism, and so-called women's empowerment, women are constantly fed the idea that they deserve everything, that they should compromise, and that men are disposable if they're not constantly providing. So what's the solution? First, wake up. Stop believing in fairy tales about love and loyalty. Understand that for most women, marriage is a financial transaction. Second, protect yourself. Stop putting everything in your wife's name. Stop blindly sacrificing your well-being for a woman who sees you as nothing more than a provider. And most importantly, if you do get married, make sure you're not just handing over everything you worked for without a safety net. Because at the end of the day, women will do what benefits them. And if that means leaving you bankrupt and broken while they move on with someone richer, they won't hesitate.